Hello, this is Kitty Anderson, your board-certified global menopause coach. We're going to talk about what I eat in a day. I'm keeping it simple. There is no glamour. Build your personal plans. 100% brain fog recovery. And an email, jumpstartaip@gmail.com. Coaching is for women who want to feel premenopausal. Optimize your health with my 15-point plan. Hey, this is Kitty Anderson again. I'm a board-certified menopause coach. I'm here to tell you today, someone asked me, what do you eat in a day? Oh my gosh, it is not glamorous. There is nothing glamorous about it. If you haven't noticed, I'm one of these low-budget people who makes YouTube videos just to give you information. I'm not really big on food. Yeah, it's a lower priority in my life. I do shoot for a very high nutrient load, and I think that's what has most of you curious. You're like, what do you eat? What's a high nutrient load? So I'll take you through, I'll show you how unglamorous this is, and just encourage you to find your own solutions. That's what we do in coaching. We talk about flavors that matter to you. We talk about your palate. We talk about your family traditions. We talk about ways that you could kind of prioritize getting nutrients into your diet. This also involves taking out inflammatory foods. So I'll have a slide on inflammatory foods. So what we're basically trying to do is change the mucus layer on the intestinal wall so that more nutrients from your food gets through to you. So I'll just talk about this a little bit within the context of what do I eat in a day. Some of your symptoms are food related, and AIP gives up to 10 times the nutrients of a processed food diet. This is fabulous. So no glamour, but here we go. Here is a recent photo of me at a hyperbaric oxygen therapy tank. Remember that nutrition never replaces hormones, ever. Nutrition activates your hormones. Nutrition clears hormone buildup. And eating better doesn't create hormones. You are at 0 for hormones if you no longer have a period. Nothing replaces HRT. Let's compare two 66-year-olds. This is a woman I met in the mall. We both exercise daily. Her arm is about triple the size of my arm. You can tell that a woman does not have HRT by the size of her arms. And this means she has double the risk for breast cancer. She has triple the risk for heart attack, and she has double the risk of dying from COVID. Here's the full view. This is what 16 years of the best HRT does. Sadly, menopause is not considered a disease in the science community. Your brain damage from hormone loss starts once your periods become irregular. We know this from brain scans in 2017. We love these brain scans from 2017 that shows on the far left the premenopausal brain full of hormones, and the red being the healthy, active cells, differing so much from the two brains on the right. The perimenopause and the postmenopausal brains are really suffering. Perimenopause, you can see the loss of healthy, active brain cells. This is the beginning of Alzheimer's. This is cognitive decline. This is job loss. If you hate this idea, you'll be getting the best HRT and the best nutrition. The SWAN study was a large study. Most of the women had no HRT. This included women from all races. And there were 7.5 years around menopause where women can't learn anything new. This is cognitive decline. This is dangerous. Let's really consider that women are all different. A neurodivergent brain is going to have a greater impact at menopause because of the inflammation caused by low estradiol and low hormones. Here's a typical brain. You can see the blue dots are binding sites for inflammation. The bottom row of brains here showing neurodivergent brains have many blue and green markers, and these are binding sites for inflammation. This type of brain cannot have an inflammatory diet. This type of brain needs extra care at menopause. This includes women with autism, sensory processing, communication difficulty, ADHD, OCD, bipolar, dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, social anxiety, social isolation, job loss, and even hyperactivity. Because these brains are so different, we work out 30+ brain treatments in coaching. We figure out which of these are going to work for you. These are non-toxic treatments. My coaching is especially helpful for neurodivergent clients because 88% of ObGyns don't know how to help a neurodivergent menopausal patient. My coaching program is based on the latest research, especially from neuroscientist Lisa Mosconi, who is going through menopause herself as we speak. Always start your day off right. The first thing I'm going to eat every day is estradiol. Of course I have this. Make sure you have this patch on, or your gel or your cream or whatever it is, however you're getting it. Here's what this is controlling. This is controlling your meal frequency, how frequent you eat. This is controlling the meal size, so how big it is. This is controlling the gateways to the nutrients. So higher doses gives you more nutrients, and that will satiate you. HRT Plus stops sugar addiction. It stops disordered eating. It stops binging, and it limits emotional eating. That will give you the feeling of fullness. So estradiol is just foundational. Got to have this patch on, and it's a 0.1 milligram patch. I'm not afraid of high dosing. It's giving me more nutrients. Why would I be afraid? So the other thing I'll say is I'm not going to actually show you pictures of beautiful food because that's triggering. So what part of your diet is a visual diet, is taking out those stimulants of sweets and those stimulants of food, and it's avoidance of the foods that you don't want to eat. So we're not going to be scrolling food things on Instagram. We're going to have a visual detox. We're going to have a digital detox, and we're going to think consciously about how we spend our day when it comes to food. Right? We're prioritizing nutrients because that makes us full, and that gives us healthy body, healthy life. So this is something you're going to want to add. Clients are losing up to 40 pounds in 3 months of coaching. Back in, make sure you've got it. Make sure you've got it. I'm going to put some links into the description below that'll be helpful during this video, but hunt down a doctor and get this done. I teach 17 ways to get HRT in the United States. Another thing I have is my testosterone. Of course, this is lovely. This does not impact your food behaviors too much, right? But it does activate your brain. It helps with focus, it helps with sociability, it helps with confidence and motivation. So you've got what it takes to actually follow a diet that feeds you nutrients, right? So you still want all the mood boosts and the things in your life that are healthy for your mood. You're managing your mood. You're making sure that you've got what it takes in your brain. You're managing brain health in order to move forward on diet. Why not grease the skids, right? Makes sense. Most autoimmune patients need thyroid meds, and 45% of all women show autoimmune symptoms by death. So the next thing I do first thing in the morning, because you're supposed to take your thyroid meds on an empty stomach. So I have thyroid medication that's balanced to my thyroid. So everyone's very particular, and this might change over time, how much thyroid dosing you need. If you have any autoimmune genes and you have any autoimmune disease at all, it's very likely your thyroid is underperforming. So this is actually helping me get better food results, right? So I don't gain weight. So the most important thing is if you have low thyroid, you're going to end up gaining weight from any amount of food. It doesn't matter. It just happens. This runs your entire metabolism. So if you have a need, and a doctor can test this for you, then you're going to be doing this, and you're going to do this on an empty stomach, right, to get it activated. I use one that's a T4 and T3. So it's a combination of those, and that's been very helpful for me. With that, I take my ADD med. So here we are working on mood with these. This is a controlled substance. You can get it from a GP, a general or primary care. You can get it from a psychiatrist. In some states, you could get it from a psychologist. And you need to answer some script about how your focus is, how you're having trouble with attention. So this is non-toxic. I just need you to know, if you need an ADD med, please don't feel guilty. It's wonderful. It's non-toxic, and it gives you the boost when it comes to neurotransmitters inside your brain that actually strengthens your brain cells. If you do need this, it will strengthen your brain cells. You'll feel a difference. If you don't need it, then your trial will do nothing. It will do nothing. So don't worry about it. They make a bunch of different kinds. Mine is generic Adderall, $8 a month or something. I mean, it's crazy. So it's very brain activating. It's really helpful. If you consider yourself neurodivergent, autistic, high IQ, high performer, ADHD, all of these things need HRT+. The other thing is, this isn't an appetite suppressant. So I take it, my brain gets a boost, my mood is boosted, I'm ready to go for the day. I don't have an appetite issue. This lasts about 4 hours, and I get hungry at the end of 4 hours. And then if I'm not near my good food, I take another, of course, right? It's going to fade away after. This is an instant release, right? So it's not long acting. I don't do the long acting because the way it could break down differently day to day, and I want a lot of predictability. It could interact with the microbiome, so I'm not so jazzed about that. So I just do something that's short acting and very predictable, but that's a part of my diet. It's a part of my diet. The next thing, you see me with this a lot. I really don't have coffee throughout the day because it interrupts my sleep. So I do have a cup in the morning, and this is actually not on the elimination phase of the autoimmune protocol. Everything else that I eat is elimination phase of the autoimmune protocol. And I very rarely go off of that diet because I'll get insomnia, I'll get some kind of food reaction. I could get anxiety. I've noticed that. I could get like massive fatigue. See my nutrition videos all about the autoimmune protocol. If I have corn, if I even try a corn chip, I'll get massive fatigue. It'll just happen. And I'm like, oh gosh, that ruined my day. So I'm just reactive. We have immune systems that react to food. So we're trying to clean that diet up from anything that could be allergenic or reactive. So I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer and tell you at the front of this video what's reactive typically. I'm going to put that at the back because that's kind of hard. It's hard to face. And if you decide you want to do an experiment with the autoimmune protocol diet, just come for coaching. We'll get that kicked off. We'll get you into the right frame of mind to start the learning process that goes with it. And then it's just a series of experiments. You know, we can go as slow as you need to go or as fast as you need to go. It just depends on you. So I've been doing the autoimmune protocol for 8 years. I actually have been gluten-free, so basically paleo, for 10. And before that, I didn't have a clue about any diet. I honestly had a balanced diet. I'd never been on any fad diets ever in my life. I go by how I feel. And that's the entire experiment for food, is go by how you feel. If something gives you energy and makes you feel better, it's activating something in your brain and you're going to feel it. That's good for your body. That's really good for your body. And getting nutrients out of food is the most important thing you can do. Supplements can block your absorption of other nutrients. We do not lean into supplements. That's why conventional medicine is pretty much against supplements, because you know, you're dumping things in an unnatural state. You don't have the structure of the food. That structure of the food is helping you with absorption, right? I have a whole video on using food nutrients instead of supplements. So I have 36 reasons why we don't use supplements, but let's just leave it at that. My exception to supplements is Cruciferous Adapt Naturals. These are whole food vitamins. So I'm going to introduce my food to you now. And you'll be kind of surprised how simple it is. I am lazy. I have other things to do with my life way beyond food. So it's just a tool for me to help me get through the day in menopause, because the menopause day is totally different than a premenopausal day, sadly. Oh well, it is. It's sad, and you might have a grieving process that might be really important for you to grieve for a little while before you try any diet experiments. Once you get through that grief and that adjustment, it can become easy. Especially important to treat this as an experiment. This is what I learned in Mayo Clinic coaching, is that your world is an experiment, your body is an experiment right now. You have your own personal genetics, you have your own microbiome, you have your own health history. You know, you may be on a losing weight streak or a gaining weight streak. Even stress and toxins can interrupt the work of your HRT. All of these things are affecting your menopausal body. So it's all an experiment. You try to tweak one big thing at a time and measure if it's working, right? I can't promise that this is your solution. I'm not sure. But I encourage experiments. That's how we move forward. We can't move forward if we just stay put and expect the doctor to take care of us. That doesn't work. That will never optimize your health. No. Let's talk about breakfast. So breakfast is, like I said, I start my coffee and I'm actually answering all my YouTube comments at breakfast. I'm sitting on the couch with my dogs around me, clustered. My dogs are so used to this routine. Clustered around me, or I'm sitting out on the patio in the sun, loving that sunshine on my body and just being happy for the day. You might as well be happy, right? You'll find your diet has a strong effect on menopausal moods. So one of the things I do is I can do like a pastured egg. I can do a pastured egg or an organic egg. And I can't do the white part of the egg. The white part of the egg is actually a protection. You know, this would have been a chick. And so the white part of the egg is on the outside, and it's to stop mammals from eating the egg, right? It's to stop us. So it's a poison. So I don't eat that highly allergenic external white of the egg. I eat the yolk. So this is hard boiled, and I just peel it, and I eat a couple yolks basically, and that's my protein. It's got some fats in there. It's got some super stuff inside of it. It's crazy. So I can feel the choline. Choline is one of the nutrients that I can feel a difference if I have a high choline diet. So that is a nutrient that I am not willing to live without. So I use a tool called Chronometer. It's just an estimate of what's inside of a food. So you can see different nutrients, and I don't think it's going to fit on the slide. I want to do a screenshot. I don't think it's going to fit on the slide. But just to give you a feel for different foods, you can play with the tool for free. I think they have a free version still, and I'll put a link to the YouTube description. But I'm interested in foods that have very high levels of nutrients, a broad spectrum of nutrients in it, and very high levels of certain nutrients. So that's my plan. More nutrients per bite means weight loss without counting calories. Another thing for breakfast very often is a fruit. Fruit. Not a high sugar fruit, right? So sticking with more of the low sugar fruits. I kind of crave the higher sugars later in the day. I don't need any sugar. No, I don't need sugar. But I will have dried fruit, which is a higher sugar content, usually at the very end of the day, the last meal. But apples are a superfood. So I'm going to put a list of superfoods kind of to the side. When we look at the autoimmune protocol, we're trying to pull in these superfoods. So I'm trying to avoid bananas because they basically have one or two things. Potassium is in there, one or two things, but they don't have a bouquet. I want a bouquet. Hey, I want a bouquet. I just don't want a single nutrient. That's not enough. So I'm looking for more nutrients per bite and more nutrients per calorie. So this is part of the trick of keeping your weight down post-menopause, is to make sure that you have enough nutrients in your food at low calorie levels, right? So I'm never going to trade off and take a low calorie food over a high nutrient food. I'm not going to do that, but I will take a high nutrient food every single time. That's the most important. I add now super enzymes each meal to break down the nutrients. You've heard me say this before. I'm going to say it again. Now super enzymes. This is awesome. I'll put a link in the YouTube description to a list of things that this does. But your digestion slows down in menopause, and we have less of what it takes to get the nutrients out of the food. So this is part of my nutrient plan. So this is breaking down the food. The HCl in here breaks down the proteins. The enzymes will break down plant matter, and plants themselves also have enzymes in it that help them break down. And then there's ox bile in here. So that's to help break down fats. And that's very helpful if your gallbladder is underperforming. So bile comes from the gallbladder, goes through your digestion, but then it recirculates in your whole body and does like 15 other things. So this is a part of my nutrient plan. Okay, for lunch. So here, this is so unglamorous. I have to show you so you'll laugh, right? This is funny. This is not glamorous. This is just the way I get liver into my diet. So there's a couple different ways, but liver has a very strong taste and it has a very strong texture. So if I blend it in with other things, I get a break from the taste and the texture. So I'm mixing it with mixed fruits, frozen organic mixed fruits, and I use grass-fed beef liver if I can find it. If not, I use conventional beef liver typically. Sometimes I use chicken. You can get organic chicken livers, I think, at Whole Foods. There's just a few places that you can get organic chicken livers. So I'm leaning towards organic, right? Because organic's going to have more of the antivirals and things in it. It has more. Just trust me, it has more. So you're going to feel a bigger boost on organic foods. The other thing that I might throw into here is a coconut cream, a little bit of coconut cream. So there's no sugar in it, none, but there's a fat in there that helps you absorb all of the fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, K, those things. So you can absorb those. Liver, it's insane. I'm going to have to put it into a slide. I've done this once before. It's insane. It has like 18 different things, high levels of 18 different things, and you're going to feel it. In fact, the kind of gritty taste from liver is from the minerals. The minerals are so high in here. The next few slides will show you all the benefits to eating liver. Here we go. Here. The other thing is I flavor it with one of my favorite flavors, which is cinnamon. So I love cinnamon. I know it sounds funny to have a meat mixture with some cinnamon in it and some coconut cream. It's just an odd little mix. And there's only one coconut cream that doesn't have an emulsifier on it. I will put that into the banner here so that you can see that. But this is how I get my liver down. And I've done it 100 different ways. I've created a pate. I've just chopped it up and mixed it with berries, you know, anything with a strong flavor. Red raspberry is a wonderful strong flavor, and that will cover this up. But I took it out of my diet for a month, and I said, "Whoa, I'm really dragging. I'm just so dragging." And it's true, there's just so much in here. And since I don't want to use supplements, this is my supplement, right? This is it. So 5 times a week, I'm doing this. And it has just been wonderful for me, wonderful. So my body knows it's nutrient dense. So even though I don't like the taste, it's hitting some receptors. It's making something happen in my brain that keeps me doing it, right? So that keeps me on track. The food itself is signaling my brain, this is yummy. This is going to feed you. This is going to keep your body healthy. Your body knows the difference between a pizza and this. That's why you have to eat the whole pizza, because there's no nutrients in it. Your body's just like, keep eating, keep eating. You just can keep eating. There's nothing in there. I need more. Now this one's just a little blip. You can see how old this bottle is. I keep refilling it. This is Himalayan sea salt, and you don't have to use sea salt per se or a certain type of sea salt. All of these natural salts, not iodized salt. Please don't go there. That's really, really bad for you, and you'll gain weight on iodized salt. This has 82 microminerals in it. So little teeny tiny minerals that you need in small amounts are inside of this. So this is just fantastic. It tastes better, right? It doesn't have that horrible metal taste of iodized salt. So once you get switched over to this, just know that you're loving your body. You're putting in 82 microminerals. It's awesome. When I want something crunchy, I do a little bit of fried food in olive oil. So I don't use any of the other oils. And I do a little bit of light frying at a low temperature. So this is salmon. So I'm going to put salmon into my diet 5 times a week. Salmon or fish or shellfish. A lot of times I do shrimp, but I like crunchy still. So this is wonderful. It is super wonderful on a salad. So I do 3 full bags of salad on Sundays, And then I'm ready for the week to throw something together really quick and have something satiating. And so I use just olive oil, and then you might use a flavored vinegar, something really to spice it up when you add those types of, like that sour taste. Mix that sour taste with the beautiful fats inside of a salmon, or sometimes I do chicken, although chicken and pork are really low nutrients. Those are low nutrients. So you're leaning into liver, fish, seafood, oysters. All of these types of things are full of nutrients. It's giving you the bouquet. So I'm going to do liver almost every day, salmon or fish almost every day, right? So, or seafood. I like shrimp. I don't really care for scallops all that much, but pick whatever you want. And the more you eat the whole animal when it comes to seafood, the more nutrients you're going to get. That's just how it works. If we keep only eating the muscle meat, we just don't get as much. And then once again, grass-fed animals are so much healthier, right? It's just so much healthier to have that animal out in the sunshine and having grass as its original food, right? That's an original food. So I do vary some. I have some grass-fed hamburgers that I cook a certain way that I like, but all very simple. I don't do any big recipes. I don't do anything that you measure. I do not measure anything, never. I'm just too busy. I have stuff to do with my life. So I don't bake anything, nothing. Maybe once every 2 months, I might go get a gluten-free cupcake or something. It just depends. Usually I can avoid it. I'm busy. I have other things I want to do. I have meaning in my life. I have people that count on me. It's just a lower priority. I'm through all that. I'm just for sustaining my body. I'm here to be strong for my family. That is the most important thing. I want to continue being a mother. I want to be a vital grandmother whenever that happens. I don't know when that's happening. But like you, those big goals are front and center. I think we turn to food because it's convenient, right? It's convenient. It's right there. I can give myself a treat. We develop those habits of treating ourselves that way. And in coaching, we talk about other treats. There's other things that you love doing, other things that you would like to do with your life. We talk a lot about the meaning in your life, and it's never food. Ladies, no one talks about food when I say, what are you living for right now? What are you excited for? It is never food. Never. Maybe a chef, right? And those people have specific taste buds and specific brain activity related to food. So yes, I would coach a person that's a chef totally different from a person that's not. They're going to have different values, right? They're going to have totally different values. And they would need a different motivation for changing food habits. They would just need something different. I am your witness as a coach. I help you brainstorm options. I listen to you. And that's the beauty of coaching, is I'm just following you. I don't know where you're going. You are the queen of this project. You are the person that's in charge of what happens next, not me. I do not map out a plan. I'm the person that's the witness for you. I am here to talk to you about your dreams. Your dreams are the most important thing. That's going to drive you forward. It's going to help you sort through your priorities and figure out what happens next. And that's the benefit of coaching, is that I'm your witness to you walking through that thought process of what is next for me. All right, lastly, what do you think this is? This is a lazy woman's answer to cruciferous vegetables. This is a cauliflower rice that's organic from Costco. Buy it in bulk. What you're going to do when you're on these estradiol supplements is you're going to want cruciferous vegetables into your daily activity because that's going to help you process your HRT. So it's going to make sure that you don't get a buildup inside your body. Vegetables and fiber will also help you process. So you're going to have 2 to 4 cups of fiber at each meal, right? That's just a general guideline. Or we say 3/4 of your plate is fruits and vegetables, right? And then you're going to want a variety of fruits and vegetables, right? So that salad over there has 6 or 7 things in it, including herbs. And I have herb garden out back. That's the one thing I do outside. I'm not a farmer, but I do have an herb garden, and that kind of holds me through. I like a lot of those types of herbs and chopping those up. Those are super nutrient dense. Chop those up, put it into your diet through a salad or through a stew. I'm not big on stews. I do one a week, one every 2 weeks. I'm kind of lazy on that. And I use a lot of just frozen organic vegetables and put those in so that I don't have to plan on stuff ripening and getting overripe, right? So, I mean, last night, what I did to this, so this is my foundation. I stir-fried some onions. I added some coconut aminos to give me kind of a teriyaki Asian feel. I added a little bit of bacon in there. I had added garlic, whole, the big chunks of garlic. So onion and garlic are both kind of magical superfoods, right? With the cruciferous. So those 3 are magical. Throw in some mushrooms, also magic. And then the coconut aminos for the flavor, adding some mineral salts. And what was the last thing that I put in there? Put in the bacon, gave me a little bit of fat. At the very beginning, I had some olive oil in there just to help with the onions, right? So, and then I sliced an avocado when I was done, sliced an avocado and put it on the top. So I have all this mix of proteins, fats, high mix of vegetables, high flavor with the coconut aminos. And that was a beautiful dinner for me. I mean, you can throw leftovers in there. You can stir fry a grass-fed steak really quick. You can do anything, but you're going to lean towards the high nutrient foods. So I'm going to follow this with a tiny PowerPoint. Managing your mood is part of managing your diet. You want to be in a good mood. So the diet's going to give you some nutrients that make you feel awesome. But also, if you need a psychiatric med, you go ahead and talk to the psychiatrist. Talk through those issues. There are some psych meds that are non-toxic. There are some that are really safe with HRT. Decrease your stress. So all of your stress management is part of your diet, right? Because the stress hormones of cortisol actually competes with your HRT. That competes. So you don't want to do that. The last thing, and I mentioned this a bunch, is 370 drugs interfere with your HRT. So you don't want to take any extra drugs. Move into diet and lifestyle. Talk to your doctor. Tell them you want to get off any of these drugs, because drugs in our society do not have to prove that they don't hurt your brain. They don't have to prove that. They don't make a claim. We help your brain, so they don't have to prove that they don't hurt your brain. So it's never part of a trial, and it never gets exposed until too late. And we have tons of drugs that are causing cognitive issues. And you only have one set of brain cells, right? You don't regenerate. So we want to make sure you protect those. And the estradiol, progesterone, and testosterone are all brain supportive. So my diet is for my brain. My diet is for my mood. My diet makes me feel good, so I stick with it. So come for coaching if you ever want to. You can email me at jumpstartaip@gmail.com. Here is a quick little set of slides to help you understand more about nutrition and the importance of supporting your immune system with a diet like the autoimmune protocol. Our immune systems get older as we age, and so it's critical to attack this like a big project. We want to remove the big allergens. We want to avoid things that could irritate the intestinal wall. Big allergens mean big trouble. Food additives are treated like toxins, and some of these food additives will actually cause hot flashes. We have a real need for fiber that pulls out toxins. Basically, you want to avoid man-made items and some plant chemistry that gets in our way. Alcohol, sugar, these are toxins, obvious toxins. Here's another list of things that we remove in the autoimmune protocol. You're looking for higher quality food, more nutrients per bite. AIP can have 10 to 100 times more nutrients in the diet with 16 immune regulators. We have a lot of phytonutrients in a diet like this with 5 to 8 cups of vegetables a day. This is a nutrition plan, all designed by you in a coaching session. Here's the list of inflammatory foods. It will always have organ meat, fish and shellfish, and vegetables of all colors. Aim for about 8 servings daily. It's going to increase nutrient density, herbs and spices, quality meats, healthy fats, fruit, fermented foods instead of a probiotic, bone broth, and all the superfoods on that slide. Mindful eating improves your absorption. This is the slow food movement. Live in the moment. Please consider your individuality. We build your custom plan in coaching. If this was helpful, please share this video and leave a comment in the comments section. That will help other women find this kind of help.